I don't know if you guys have read about Daniel Pink and how he's talking about the right-brainers will rule the world. People who do coding, people who do engineering, technical work, it's getting more and more automated. If you talk about the CEO, this is innovation is your number one competency needed for tomorrow's or today's leadership, which means we all have a crisis at our hand. The question to all of you is, who amongst this is innovation genius? Can you show me by a show of hands if anyone here is an innovation genius? 1, 2, 3. Anybody else? 4, 5, fantastic. By the time we finish, I am sure I will see all the hands go up. That's that's the expectation I have. This is a picture of my laundry room. It's a real-time monitoring IoT solution. One of the biggest challenge I have is I'm very, very lazy. And anytime my CFO, Chief Family Officer, is looking for, hey, did you finish the laundry? Is this moved from left to right? But I still don't understand why do we still have dryers and washers. Topic for a different day. But this is $24. This is a Wise camera. I did 3 lines of code. It keeps a real-time monitoring of how time is progressing. The moment it reaches 0, I get a page, which means it's a real-time monitoring solution. I am the innovator, and I have not filed for patent, or I don't want to. What does this make me? This allowed me to hang with this real cool people. I am a super creative genius. I think we all are born genius, and the world came into the way. Let's see what we can do to get the world behind us. Are you guys with me on this? Okay. What is innovation? As you define the definition, introduction of something new, a new idea or a method or a novelty. That's a definition which we all can relate to. But here comes the best part. What it is not. Carbon copy, duplicate, imitation, reduplication, replica, reproduction. I thought we all come here so we can learn from each other and reproduce the same thing in our organizations. So if I come here and I take something good, what you have done, and take it back, is it innovation or not? That's the kind of question which baffled me as I look at the definition. And by the time we finish, hopefully, it'll give you clarity to say why some of these are near opposites, not true opposites. But introduction of something new. Let me go back and ask you guys. This is the equation which I have drafted. There are many, many other inputs which have gone. A friend of mine called me one time and says, imagination combined with knowledge is innovation. That looked pretty good to me. I felt that's a fairly good definition. I pondered on this, and then added a few more things. I added passion, and then I realized I could still have passion, but if it creates a lot of ego in me, then I'll get ourselves into trouble, because if I have a bad idea, my ego would prevent me from getting and looking at it a different way and come out with the next idea. So that's the egoless part. And the last one is ambition. Ambition we all are very, very good at. What are we good at? We are fairly good at knowledge. We all have. Ambition, and see the difference here is, what passion is at a particular moment of time. Ambition, execution, right? We all are very, very good at execution. So when you look at this particular definition, what we will talk about today is how do you improve your imagination? How do you get to an egoless passion? I think that's where I want to spend some time on. Just a little bit of my background. Apart from my workday, for the last 3 years, I have been an avid meditator. I just came back from a 7-day meditation camp. Previously, I attended a 2-week silent retreat where all you do is not talk to anyone because they take your cell phone and everything away, and you look inward. And those kind of things made me look at technology slightly differently. So some of this is coming from a hangover from the meditation camp, but I think some of it should resonate with you guys as well. Now you guys know the definition. Knowledge, which you all have. Imagination, we have some great geniuses in this group, and I think each one of us has some imagination. We all bring passion. Let's put this to work. Which one of these lines are bigger? Can I get some show of hands? Who thinks that they are equal? And who thinks the top one is bigger? Okay. Look, this is what we studied when we were in kindergarten, right? Or at least in first grade. But now, they changed the rules on us. We still remember what we learned earlier in high school. Now the rules have changed. So now you've got two things. The rules have changed. You have an innovation definition with you guys. Let's see, can you convert yourself into a creative genius? One question I do want to ask you is, when you guys were put in to say, hey, tell me what, if you were the king or the queen of the world, tell me what would you want to do? I mean, it just doesn't have to be work. It could be personal. It could be at home. And I saw some people came out with fantastic thoughts, but a large amount of us were stumbling. We didn't have, look, I want to be an inventor, or I want to be an innovator. And we all have innovation as part of our jobs. Or at least we are expected to be the evangelist of innovation. And that's very common. I went through that as well. When I was leading innovation for GE, they train you in lean startup. You are supposed to be the evangelist for innovation. What do you do? How do you find your own element of this? And that's one of the things which I want to go and share with you to say, after doing many, many hours of research, reading the books, applying it on myself, I will share some of those things. And the intent is, these are one anecdote. It should spark some thoughts for you guys to think about. They changed the rules on us. We talked about this, right? 1 in 100,000 idea would be big enough to change something meaningful in the world, in your organization, anywhere else as well. So 1 in 100,000. Does this look feasible? When we hear innovation, we all talked about, hey, take risk, free pizza, bring everyone together, all of those things, right, I don't know if all of those things really, really spark innovation the way we would want. These are good environments to create innovation, but I think the core is what we will talk about in a minute. So I think that's what I'm trying to say is, let's not focus on marginal improvement. Let's get ourselves into the state of flow. Innovation happens in unknown. We talked about knowledge. That's the known piece. We have to go to the unknown, and the bridge between the known and unknown is what's going to give us innovation. This is where it gets a little on the other side, but I promise it'll give you some food for thought. So we all have energy centers, thought centers, whatever you want to call it, in our body, right? And they primarily work in 2 phases. Either the survival centers, which if I go towards the spiritual side of the story, it's the bottom 3 or the bottom 4. And then from the green up are the ones which are creative centers. We spend 95% of our time meeting to meeting, home to home, chores to chores in our survival energy centers. And for us to be able to get to it, where we are in the creative thought process, we have to access our subconscious mind and go beyond our autonomous nervous system. The good part is we get 40,000 thoughts a day. In the previous slide, we talked about 1 in 100,000, which means in 2.5 days, you could have something which could change the world, which is a good thing. But 95% of those 40,000 thoughts are a repeat of what had happened yesterday or previous week or whatever be the case. Only 5% or less than 5% are the ones where we have to put a conscious thought and say, okay, what can I do to go outside my comfort zone? This is all about change, right? Innovation requires an inherent change from inside. So how can we go and take those 5% of thoughts, make it to 6%, 7%, and 8%, and be cognizant of those thoughts so that we are able to go and snowball them? And when I was asked to be the innovation champion for this, I could fake it. But if I cannot be an innovation genius internally, I don't think that energy transfers to the team as well. So I think I would ask each one of you guys as well is to think yourself as genius, innovation genius. Think of ideas where you are generating more and more number of thoughts and get those thoughts from the creative centers. If you're not doing meditation, where do you get the most amount of your thoughts? Any guesses? These are some examples. And the first one is the shower, which is the most common one. Sleep or something else, that's up to you to decipher. It's validated proof. This one is boredom. Boredom is very, very good for innovation. Swimming, people go for a walk, run. There is validated proof to say, all you do is nothing, just do a 5-minute walk. The number of, you move your energy level from survival to creative, and you become more and more cognizant of new thoughts which are coming to you. This is validated. All of these, why do we get good thoughts when we're in shower? Because we get in a state of flow. And when we get in a state of flow, all we're doing is moving from our survival to creative centers. So if you cannot do anything, and if somebody is really, really bored, you cannot do anything, cannot walk, cannot swim, cannot do other things. Just get bored. Keep your cell phone away and bored the heck out of you. I guarantee you, once you're done by boredom, you would walk away to say, that was a bad 15-minute. Why do I have washer and dryer still separate? Let me think about it. So I think that's the intent which is very, very good. Another thing which is very, very critical is if we get in that state of mind, we forget. So please have your cell phone or anything and record it. Who wants to write? When you're in the shower, some of you might have waterproof phones, record it or write it on the glass there itself. But if you look at the original idea, people who have come out with original ideas, they don't look like Einstein. They don't look like geniuses. They look like you and I. They are usually late to the party. We give so much importance to the first mover advantage. There has been validated proof to say 48% first movers fail. 8% who improve on something are much more successful. We all talk about Facebook, Google. They were not original. They were a copy of mine and others as well, right? Who was the first search engine? Yahoo and others. Google came second. They worked on it. So the moment you read this particular element, your doubt on, hey, am I creating a duplicate? Or if I'm copying something from this this wonderful collection of great ideas at this forum, am I truly innovating? The answer is the original ideas are going to come with doubt and fear. Again, there's a difference between self-doubt and idea doubt. So if you have an idea doubt, please give it more room. If it's self-doubt, which we will talk about in a minute, is also something which we need to conquer. But I think this was very, very important to say, always incubate ideas. Do not put deadlines. Put deadlines on starting an idea. Don't put deadlines on finishing it. Procrastinators, I don't know if there are any in the team here. I used to be one, I'm still one. Your excuse is, hey, I'm a innovator genius, so take it or leave it. So I think that's something which has been validated as well, right? So, and if you guys need more validation on the research, I can happy to share with you guys as well. Here comes the idea rationalization piece. If tomorrow you get into the state of creative genius and come out with 10 ideas, this table comes out with 10 ideas, and you, sir, have a wonderful idea, you feel passionate about it. How confident are you that you're going to share it with the world? And if you have shared it with the world, and the world says it's not a good idea, how confident are you without hurting your ego? You can say, yeah, I tried, but let me go to the next one. Look, the deal here is not get passionate about what idea it is. Passionate about just having tons of idea. You know, one of the exercises which has been, I really, really enjoyed. Pick an item, a fork. What can you do with a fork? What is an innovation with the fork for next 20 other things apart from eating? Someone he wrote, in the list of innovation, I can scratch the car. It's not a creative innovation, it's something which I don't feel good about. Then he built a story to say, there's nothing else around me. Somebody had murdered or killed me and I have to write down the name of the person who killed me. I will use the fork to go and write it on the car. So again, using creative storytelling to push the idea, but do not link good ideas with number of ideas. The only thing you can focus on is to have number of ideas. And as long as you cross the 100,000 ones, you would certainly be talking about putting more and more truly game-changing ideas as well. Feeling of being wrong. I dealt with this one a lot. When you have been asked to be, bringing more and more technology, doing a lot of POCs, how do you get to a point where you train yourself to be wrong? Fear setting. I don't feel any fear in coming out with some really bad ideas. And I kind of force it on myself. Because once you force it on yourself, then you feel much, much easy to go and come out with your ideas and share with the group. And share with the group. And the group feels comfortable sharing with you as well. So this is an element. I don't know if you guys have seen the fear setting exercises. People will go in Starbucks and lie down on the floor and play, do butterflies. Nobody bothers. Life is still going on. What they did, what happened during that exercise? I have done that myself in a Starbucks, which had nice carpet. And I think really it was a fear within myself to say, what would people think? And that allowed me to get over it. I still have not fully gotten over it. I still, would not do it here on the floor. I can, but you would not want me to do it. But at least that fear is gone. So I would encourage you guys to say, idea generation requires a state of mind. Here is the best part. Idea generation can change your state of mind. I love, this is the best part. So if you are having a rough day, you are under a lot of stress, budgets, anything else as well, things not going in at home well, you're stuck in traffic. Start generating innovative ideas. I guarantee you, your state of mind would change and your stress would go away because you're moving from stress to creative centers. This is the best piece. Once you generate more ideas, and I saw some of them here which came out with great ideas, I saw a big smile on their face because what they did was they got a feel-good hormone kick in. And we know all this, but when we did this exercise 10 minutes ago, some of us came out with not really big ideas. Some of us has to think really hard on, hey, what innovation would I be doing? Because we were not necessarily in the right state of mind. And I guarantee you, if we get ourselves in that state of mind, it would be very different. So in conclusion, I would say we all know the need for innovation. The only way we can get to be a super creative genius is generate as many ideas as you can. Make sure you're in the right mental state. Procrastinate on ideas. I've got some crazy ones. If you have more time, we can talk through some of the crazy ones which has come out. And they come out at times where you would, like I was on this silent retreat and you're not supposed to talk to anyone, you don't have a pen and paper, and all these ideas are coming left, right, center. What do you do with those? You have to say, park yourself, we'll come back to it. And then filter those ideas. How do you filter those ideas? You let it out. You let it out and see what the response we're going to get from that. And have an element where it's egoless. So if that idea doesn't have legs, it will get killed by itself. Many times you would yourself kill it. So what has happened now? We have got ourselves into a situation where we all talk about celebrating failure, and we are failing our own idea and celebrating ourselves. So once we start doing that, our team starts to feel the same as well, and the momentum generates. Storytelling, most important part. I know we didn't talk about, once you got the idea, what do you do after that, right? And that's the storytelling, execution. Those are the things. I would just spend 1 minute here or less. We all in technology and IT spend a lot of time on creating visibility. We all say, if I have data to look at all my business systems, if I have data to do all my IoT, it's all about visibility. And what I have found is we have this myth, which we all grew up with in the last 20 plus years, is visibility is going to drive the right action, and the right action is going to give you the desired outcome. Well, that hypothesis has failed me over and over again. We all know when you have the calories in a salad and a pizza, I still eat pizza. I know the right action is not to eat pizza, but I do. And then if it still does not necessarily guarantee a best health outcome. That's just one example, but that's true everywhere. I can tell you visibility does not guarantee right action because actions are governed by people's habits and the culture. And unless you change them, that doesn't happen. And then even if you get the actions right, there's no guarantee for desired outcome. So if we all talk about these ones, let's just not worry too much about those as well. The only thing I would say is generate as many ideas, be the champion of change for yourself, and then I guarantee you, as you start doing it for the teams, the pizza party would make more sense because those were the signs where people will feel to say, hey, I've got support around me, so I can feel more comfortable sharing my ideas. Because once you do that, instead of happy cows, we would say great leaders produce more ideas. Thank you very much.